What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to nolifetilmetal. You're dealing with what's spinning today. I'm sitting on the floor by my stack of records that I've been listening to for the last few days. Just going to go through and show you a few of the records that I've been listening to. First up, this is Vasco da Gama. I showed this in a recent video, and several people asked me, what do they sound like? Just straightforward heavy metal, early 80s heavy metal from Portugal. It's in Portuguese. I dig it. It's just straightforward metal. So I'm going to play that while I'm kind of talking, and so it'll be spinning in the background if you're curious as what these guys sound like. And that's a more mellow song. There's some heavier songs, some lighter songs. If you know, as with most 80s metal, there's a good up and down of heavy, fast, slow, you know, which is one of the things I liked about that style of heavy metal. Alright, next up, Angel Dust and Light in the Darkness. This was what year did this come out? 2000 something or other? I don't know, early 2000s I believe it was. German power metal band, started off as a thrash metal band, and I do like their first two thrash metal albums. But the band broke up and then reformed with, I can't even remember who was who in the band anymore, but this album is just straightforward, fantastic, heavy power metal. There is keyboards, but it's more in the tradition of the US power metal, you know, where it kind of pushes the borders of thrash metal. Very melodic at times, very hooky. And great riffing. You know, I love this band and I love this album. This is definitely my favorite from Angel Dust. And then I got in the mood to hear that one because I was spinning Heretic, A Town of Crisis, which is one I did show in a recent video. First time on vinyl. Great album. I've listened to this thing over and over and over again. If you don't know who Heretic is, a US heavy metal band who became, let's see, Heretic broke up after Mike Howe, their second vocalist, left and formed and joined Metal Church. And the Metal Church's vocalist, who at the time was David Wayne, joined this band and formed Reverend. So basically, Heretic became Reverend. But this album is their first reunion album with their original vocalist and what's his name, Julian Mendes. And again, straightforward US power metal. You know, kind of push that boundary towards thrash metal, but I wouldn't call it thrash metal. It's just good heavy metal. First time on vinyl, just released 2018 on Brutal Planet Records. This is just a classic. You know, it's funny, you know, I put this on and Wake Up Dead came on, and if you can listen to Wake Up Dead and not take an immediate guitar stance, you know, spread out open legs, air guitar in hand and start headbanging, then, I don't know, man, just spoon the fill out your bowl, because that's just what this album does to me, man. That song, it's just one of those songs I want to headbang to, and I literally, you know, don't care how old I am, I still feel like a 16-year-old kid banging my head and playing air guitar every time I hear the song Wake Up Dead, or even Peace Sells, or Devil's Island, or just the whole album is fantastic. So, yeah, everyone knows what this album is, so it's not, you know, nothing special, but I think it's a fantastic album. Just hadn't heard it in a while, and it just really got me going. So, New Jersey speed metal, thrash metal, power metal, whatever you call it. I've always considered them to be more of the power metal, US power metal type, like Metal Church than I would thrash metal. Some people call them thrash, whatever. Anyhow, Hades. This is Resisting Success, and it's just a great album I hadn't heard in a while, so I pulled it out, gave it a spin. Always liked Alan Tecchio's voice, and Alan, of course, also sang for, later after this, he went on to sing for Watchtower. He sang in Heathen's Rage for a short time as well, during their reunion. But great album, 1988, I think this was, or so. Toured Records with Combat as a distribution label. Since I had that one pulled out, I grabbed the second album too. Second Hades album. This is If At First You Don't Succeed. This album is a bit more technical, a bit more thrashy in my opinion. I don't know which one I like better. I like them both. They're both great. Old school, you know, speed metal from the East Coast. You know, what can I say? It's just good stuff. If you haven't heard of Hades, definitely check them out. You know, they never got as big as bands like Metallica or Anthrax or Overkill or those kind of bands, but they definitely were deserving of it. So, huge cult following, especially in Europe. Alan Tecchio's, you know, considered, you know, a legend over there. So, One I hadn't heard in a while, and I just pulled it out. Newer band, new wave, traditional heavy metal, Visigoth. I just forgot how good this was. Hadn't played it in a long time. Popped it out, listened to it. Man, this is good stuff. I mean, this is just, you know, metal for metalheads kind of stuff. You know, Manowar would be crowd. You know, definitely not for posers. Great album, very good artwork. It's traditional heavy metal, yeah. I mean, it's definitely has a more modern production, which is actually very good production. So I mean, I don't know if that. Some people say they don't like the more modern metal albums because of the production, but this is old school with modern production. So speaking of old school, it's Seduce, another one I just hadn't heard in a while, so I pulled it out. This is I don't know, I consider it kind of a you know, a glam metal band. This band came out of Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, Motor City, it's motor capital of the world. I don't know. Yeah, I like this album. It's good stuff. Hadn't heard it in a long time. It's a bit glammy. If Motley Crue's first album had been released by a band out of Detroit, it might have sounded something like this. You know, it's got them clean, high-pitched vocals. It's got a lot of edge. Definitely a metal album as opposed to a pop album, but good stuff. Also, like they do a cover of T-Rex the Slider on here, which is fantastic. And then their first album, which I believe was from like '84, maybe '85. Don't like this one as much as the other one. I like them both, but I like the second one better for some reason. Again, just hadn't heard in a while, so I spun them both. D. Snyder, For the Love of Metal. This is last year's release. Got a love-hate relationship with this one. You know, I didn't make my list from last year. I think side A is fantastic. I mean, I like almost every song on here. Lies Are a Business, Tomorrow's No Concern, I'm the Hurricane, American Made, Roll Over You, I'm Ready. All those songs are really good. I mean, but then I flip it over to side 2, and I don't know what the deal is, but I don't know if I'm sick of it or if it's just a different sound. It just seems more like, whereas the one side is just straightforward American heavy metal, the second side seems like it's getting more into the modern, almost new metal, or I don't know what you want to call it, modern rock range, and I just didn't dig it as much as side A. There is a great song on side B though called For the Love of Metal, which is the last song. So I'd say the first 6 songs and then the last song are great. And then there's 4 songs kind of shoved in the middle that I'm just not as big a fan of. You know, it's produced by Hatebreeds. I wrote it down in the back so I wouldn't forget. Jamie Josta, and I think he had a hand in writing some of this material too. So I don't know if that's where I'm getting the modern vibe on some of the songs, but yeah, there is definitely more modern. I mean, if you're looking for Twisted Sister, that's not here. If you're looking for the intensity and heaviness of Twisted Sister, you get that. But if you're looking for that old school 80s sound, you're not going to get that here. This is definitely more of a 90s heavy metal sound. And then some of it gets into more, like I said, of a new metal sound. There's also some, let's see, on the song Hardest Way, it's written on the back here, Howard Jones from Killswitch Engage sings whiny vocals. Don't care for him. It's another one of those songs that I think sounds a little bit too modern. And then Dead Hearts has Alissa White Gluz singing on it. And you know, lots of guest appearances on here. Lamb of God, Arch Enemy, Toxic Holocaust, Killswitch Engage. It's a good album. Like I said, I like side A. I like the last song on side B. I just think there's some stuff in between that's kind of just not doing it for me. More modern heavy metal, new wave traditional heavy metal band Haunt. This is their second full-length album, 2019 release. This one's definitely going to make my top 20 for the year. It's been spinning it quite a bit over the year, so sometimes, you know, I get a release and I get excited about it. Let's do quite a bit. This one, I put it away after let's do it a few times, and then I start flipping through albums. And I'm like, how do we go again? You know, so it's got that memorability factor. It's got me wanting to hear it again and again. So, Haunt, If Icarus Could Fly. This is the first Ice Earth demo. Great sound. I think it's from like 88, 89. 5, 6 songs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 songs. Single-sided. It's got an etched B-side, but I really like the first Ice Earth album. But I think that actually the demo was actually better than the first album. You can call it a demo, but it was recorded at Moore Sound Studios in Florida. It's got a, you know, perfect sound. It's just brilliant. John Schaefer's great on here. I love this EP. So this just came out in 2019 as well. Came out in CD as part of a box set. So it's nice to have the vinyl finally. A bit of a death metal kick, so I yanked this one out. Hadn't heard it in a while. This is like Stoll's self-titled release from, this is several years ago now, 2012 2012. I don't know. I can't see the date on here. 2013. I often describe this as if Yes was playing death metal. That's what you get here, and that's kind of what you get. Clean vocals. Ole Barud is great clean vocals. I've always liked his vocals, going all the way back to the 90s when he was doing stuff with his own band and with Extol. And then, of course, you get the death metal growls as well. Very melodic, very technical. Frankly, might be tied with Virgil as the band's best, but I really like this one a lot. I play this one more than any other Extol album in my collection. Irish heavy metal, Easy Meat. Again, one I hadn't heard in a while. It's kind of a rarity. This one was actually given to me by one of the BC guys who lives in Ireland, who I haven't seen him in a long time. I have to find out where he's been. But in any case, just straightforward heavy metal. Got a bit of a commercial hook to it, which a lot of early 80s metal did, and I love that. Funny cover, funny music, funny name, but I really enjoyed this band. It's, you know, it's just something cool about the whole goofiness of it, you know, where it wasn't taken so seriously back then. It was all about good times. So Easy Meat, rock your brains. Similar, this US power metal, heavy metal band, Cerebus, Too Late to Pray. Love this band. This is on New Renaissance Records from '86. Pushes towards speed metal a bit, but like I said, more along the lines of if Queensryche continued after their first album, playing that style they played on the first EP, this is kind of what you're going to get here. So great heavy metal, US heavy metal from Cerebus. Lots of stuff. I'm going quickly now. CJSS, we're all going, sorry, Praise the Loud. David T. Chastain, I was listening to one of his solo albums last week, so I pulled out one of the CJSS albums. His other band, Chastain, with Leather Leone, was more popular than this band. I don't know why. The CJSS were just fantastic. Probably, I think it's the best stuff he did was the two CJSS albums. 2019 EP from US thrash band Blood Feast. Really like it. So hadn't heard it in a while, so I pulled it out to give it a spin. Was just in one of those thrash metal moods, which you'll find out in a second as I start pulling out more thrash metal. Hyrax, New Age of Terror. This was the introduction of guitarist, songwriter Glenn Rogers to Hyrax, as well as Angelo Spino, who also plays on, let's see here. So two of the members who play on this, Angelo Spino, bass player, and Glenn Rogers also play on this. Glenn Rogers and Angelo Spino. It's kind of interesting. See, there's kind of some similarities in the sound. Because Glenn Rogers did a lot of the writing here, Glenn Rogers did a lot of the writing on The Heretic. But this is my favorite Hyrax album. Always has been, always will be. I just don't think it'll ever be topped. I mean, a lot of people like their early stuff better, but because it's more raw, it's more punk infused. This is just tighter thrash metal. I love Glenn Rogers riffing, so there you go. This is the original pressing on Mausoleum, TPL, and you can see the cover's a little different than the more, I don't know, there's another cover that is more, I don't want to say popular, but you just see it more. And you don't have both of these wolves on here. You really only see the big wolf with the Hyrax logo on there. Unleash the dogs of war. One I showed not too long ago, an update video, but again, I was in a thrash metal mood. Defiance, second album, Void Terra Firma, California, thrash band, second tier. Don't have to say much about this one. Like, again, I showed it in a recent video, but if you like bands like Testaments, you're probably going to like this one. This is awesome. Iron Maiden, early stuff from 78, 79, 80. Just those early Paul Di'Anno recordings, the Soundhouse tapes, and more. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I showed this in a recent VCLT video from, what's the channel name? Metal War God 60. And yeah, I spun this twice already, and I just really enjoyed it. I love early Maiden. It's when I discovered them, so this stuff is just a joy for me to listen to. This is Hardwire, Common Time Heroes. Again, early 80s heavy metal. This band being from Germany. Honestly, they really remind me of Motley Crue. Early Motley Crue, like this could like squeeze right in between Shadow of the Devil and Too Fast for Love, and that's kind of the vibe you get going here. You know, people think Motley Crue, they think you know, pink spandex and pop, but that's not what you're gonna get here. This is early Crue sounding. You know, when they were still a metal band, yet they still had that power pop influences, and I think that's what you get with this band as well. Yeah, take a look at that band. You know, they look kind of like Accept. Great stuff, just straightforward heavy metal. Lyrics are kind of goofy at times, but what do you expect? There's all kinds of goofy lyrics. Deliverance, this is kind of what got me going on the thrash metal kick, although this particular album is not thrash metal whatsoever. This is their River Disturbance album, which I believe was like their 6th album, something in that area. Here they're much more mid-paced, much more melodic, almost progressive metal here. I love this album, and it's probably, I've always called it their underrated masterpiece because it never gets the love that it deserves. Recently released on vinyl, on white vinyl and black vinyl, so this is one that's not going to be around long, as well as this one. This one came out this year. Hear what I say. This is from 2013 was the original release date. Came out on CD only. The CD sold out quickly, and then Retroactive Records picked it up to release it again on CD for a second pressing, and they released it on vinyl as well. Very small vinyl run, so if you're interested in that one, grab it quick. But this is probably, I mean, this ranks up there as one of my favorite Deliverance albums. Definitely more towards the speed metal, but it does have more melody than the early speed metal stuff. Regardless, they do a Iron Maiden cover on here where Eagles Dare as well, and they do a great cover of that. Another new wave of traditional heavy metal band. This is Chainbreaker. This is Motorhead meets Venom in sound, and just nothing else I need to say because that really describes it. Love the artwork on this, black and white, but they did some great job with spot varnishes and those kind of things. Very nice. This is on Hell's Headbanger Records. Just cool stuff from, I believe this is last year, 2018. Yeah, Hell's Headbangers 2018. More US heavy metal. This is Liege Lord. Third album, Master Control. They have a new singer here, and Joe Kamo, who went on to play with Annihilator for a long time and Overkill for a long time. So, I don't know. I like all 3 Liege Lord albums, so it's hard for me to say which is my favorite, but really like this one. I just hadn't heard in a while. A few more here, getting through them quick here. Juggernaut. I've had this album for a while. It was ultra warped, so I couldn't play it. It was sealed, original sealed. They call it original sealed. So it's got one of those stickers on here that says Metal Blade, original 80s, so it's a reseal. And the sticker that they put on here covers up the either a punch hole or a cut, so that they could resell them, which, I don't know, kind of weird. But anyways, it was sealed for so long that it had warped the record, but I rinsed the vinyl flat and it flattened it perfectly, so it plays great. So I'm glad to have it back in the collection. Again, I put this more towards the speed metal range, even pushing towards thrash, but again, it's just straightforward heavy metal, like Judas Priest on speed. 3 more, almost there. Dirty Looks Bootleg. This is I don't know, this is early 90s, 1991 on Shrapnel Records. Again, if you like that kind of raw, nasty, sleaze metal sound these guys did, this is exactly what this is. Kind of hard to find on vinyl, but I picked this one up back when vinyl was not a rage, so it was, I got it for a relatively good price. So, yeah, good stuff. I love Dirty Looks. I'm sure you guys see this channel anyway many times. I've spoken about them multiple times. So, Dirty Looks Bootleg, 1991 on Shrapnel Records. Now this one I grabbed just because it was right next to Dirty Looks and I hadn't heard of them in a while. This is the UK hard rock band from the 70s, Dirty Tricks. This is their, like I think I said, this is their first album. Yeah, just straightforward heavy metal from the 70s, or hard rock from the 70s, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to argue over, titles, but I think I have all 3 of their albums. I think this is their best one. Simplistic cover, but a great album. Last one. It's kind of like also I showed with the other one. I showed this one in a recent Good, Bad, and Ugly, and this one was very, very warped, and I ran it through the vinyl flat and it didn't work. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to put it in the vinyl flat, I'm just going to leave it in there. So I put it in the thing for 10 hours. 10 hours! And I'm like, yeah, it's going to ruin it, but it was unplayable anyhow. Put it before I went to bed, got up next morning, unplugged it, let it sit and cool for several hours, took it out, and I'm like, wow, it looks pretty darn good. So I pulled it out, threw it on the turntable, what do you know, it flattened it. So, yeah. I don't need a new copy because this one's good. So this is Angus Crack of Doom, heavy metal, 80s Metal Blade. If you like that whole, somewhere falling between traditional metal and thrash that a lot of Metal Blade bands were in the mid-80s, that's what you got here. Good stuff. Really enjoyed this one. Hadn't heard it in a long time. So there you go. That's a whole lot of music in a very short amount of time. So thank you for all watching. Leave comments below. I love talking to y'all guys. There's some good English. I love talking to you all and appreciate your comments. So God bless. Stay strong.